baking show. You're going to experience what it feels like to bake a cake. I am making a double chocolate fudge cake. The first step to making a cake is to prep your pan. The ingredient says that you have to put your oven onto 350 Fahrenheit and press start. Then we are going to prep the pans. Now I'm going to draw a circle with this Sharpie around here. Okay, now we're going to do the second pan. It's a trick I learned from my mom. See, 2 perfect circles. Now I'm going to cut the circles so I have a perfect circle. Now I'm going to butter the pan and put some flour on it. I'm going to put the parchment paper on top. The butter makes it so the parchment paper doesn't stick. Now see, I'm just going to take this. There's some butter on here. I'm going to rub it all around. Nice and do it. I'll be right back once I finish these pans. I'm back and I'm going to show you how you flour a pan. So now that there's butter all over it, I'm going to take a handful of flour, just plop it in the middle, and spread around a teensy bit so it spreads it all over. Push it all to one end. Keep pushing it all. Make sure you don't push the butter. And we're just going to move it all around. Move it, move it, move it. That's nicely coated. Wait. And I'm back. I put the 2 pans aside, and now I'm doubling the batch so you guys can all have a piece. Time for me to grab the bowls. See, I got 2 bowls because this is for dries, this is for wets. Always keep them separate and then combine them. Hello everyone, I'm back. And if you guys have already noticed, on the flour, there's a picture of Robin Hood. Blaze, you're on there. Okay, now I'm going to put 2 cups of flour. See, this is a cup. I'm just going to pick one up, get up, make sure it's full and even. See, nice and even, and dump it in. Take another scoop. Making sure it's even. Put that in. Now we need a half a cup of cocoa powder. It's very cloudy. Well, it's very puffy and hard to use and very messy. It stains kind of white. So this is what makes things chocolate. 1/2 a cup of that. Now we need to put 4 of these. Normally you'd have to put 2 tablespoons, but this time we need 4. So I'm doubling the recipe. We're just gonna wipe that off. Make sure it's all nice and even. That's scoop number 1. That's scoop number 2. Number 3. And number 4. As you can see, it's very messy. Sorry about that. I just needed to go get all the messy cocoa powder off and clean my area. Remember, you should always be clean when you're baking, or it gets all over the place. Now, I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Just going to pour this in nice and slowly so no extra goes in. I'm just going to pour and dump. Now, we did salt. We're going to do some baking soda. We need 1 teaspoon of this. So, with baking soda, there's like a little thing here where you can wipe it off. See? Did help you get it even. See? It's helped me. Now, Just getting nice and mixed. See? Nice and mixed. And then this will be a nice short break, and then you'll see what it looks like at the end. Okay, now we're back, and we finished the dry bowl. So now we're working on the wet. You can see kind of the bowl's a bit bigger, but okay. So, on butter, you need to measure it. I already measured the amount. So see, it's 1 cup there. That equals 1 cup. Butter is really easy to cut because it has the measurement. So I just flip it over. Make sure someone's watching you, just for safety. Okay, and cut, and keep cutting. Okay, I'll be right back once the butter's melted. Now that the butter's melted, time to pour it in. Whee! Be very cautious because that's really hot. Now, I'm going to add some brown sugar. Okay, I'm going to add 2.5 cups. So 1, here's the brown sugar. Here's 1 cup. 2. Brown sugar, you really have to pack it in. It's really tricky too, sometimes. Just keep packing, until it's all nicely packed in. I love brown sugar. It's like my favorite type of sugar, but it is very hard to grab. And when you saw there, if you were looking there, it just comes in, and it starts falling apart. See how come that was together? Okay, once I do the rest of these balls, I'll see right after I finish the rest of these. Now that I've put all the brown sugar in, like you can see now, you're gonna get a zoom in a minute. I'm gonna use this whisk to turn it and spin it really, really well. So it's when you have such stiff stuff and such runny stuff, I find it's really hard to stir. But look how yummy that looks. So I'm just gonna keep stirring until it's very, very well combined. I stir with 1 hand. I'm just gonna get the stuff out from inside. I hold the bowl with 1 hand, like you can see here, and then I stir with 1 hand. Okay, now it's getting nice and moist up. It's barely staying up there now. And I think that's about pretty good, well mixed. Don't you think? Anyone see that? So now, we're gonna let this sit, and I'm gonna crack some eggs. Let's get these eggs out. Now I got the eggs in, the recipe calls for 4 eggs. So, I have a full container here. I'm just gonna grab one, and let's crack it. I find it's easier not to go a bunch of little taps, because then shells normally gets in it. Do 1 hard tap. And then, anyway, the thing that you're cracking with, stick your fingers in kind of, and then just duck it down, that in. I was just finishing cracking the eggs off camera, but now, see, I have 4 eggs. 1, 2, 3. This one kind of fell apart. But now I'm going to add vanilla. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons. The thing with vanilla is it smells really good, but when it's not mixed in with something, it's so sour, kind of like. Not like, it's like weird. Strong. It's very strong. So, never just try vanilla alone. But you can smell it. It smells really good. So now that I have that in, I'm going to stir it all up. The eggs and the butter at the bottom. Well, the butter and the sugar is at the bottom. And right on the egg. We're just adding the eggs and the vinegar. See, it's more liquidy. Really more liquidy. You can kind of see the eggs going in there. Nicely stirring it. see. I'll be back in a minute for when we combine them. And I'm back. Now, I'm going to show you what the West looks like after they're all stirred. Doesn't it look like it's such a sweet combination? Doesn't it look like a caramel? Okay, now we're going to combine. The key to this is not to stir too much. You just stir enough till it's smooth and to add it in slowly. I got this big spoon because the whisk would not really work with this. So I'm just going to pour a teensy bit in. Very little. Oops, I read the instructions wrong. You add all of it in. Whee! So, now I'm just going to pick this up and stir and stir. I'm using a flipping technique to get all the stuff from the bottom to the top. See how I'm just flipping it? I'm going really down to the bottom and lifting it up to the top. And now, I think this is good now to stir. And the recipe now calls for a cup of hot water. Ooh, I'm going to put it in a little bit by a little bit. And you want it? Wait. Okay, read the recipe wrong. Just dump it all in. Why do I keep reading the recipe wrong? So, I'm going to do a big stir. Doesn't it look like coffee at the bottom? Does anyone see that? Does anyone get that, how that's coffee at the bottom? Well, time to get back to stirring. Oh, that hot water looks hot. If you could see microscopic things or like kind of see smoke, you would see a lot of it in front of me. It's so weird that my glasses aren't fogging up. And I'm just gonna keep stirring. Okay, now that's all mixed up. Doesn't it look like dark chocolate to you guys? But okay, I'm gonna pour it in the pan and get ready to cook. Oh, looks like the pan's ready for it's at the right heat. I'm just gonna pour. And done. The second pan. Time to cook. I'm just gonna get these ready and open up the pan. Now that's in, I'm gonna set the timer for 40 minutes. Timer 40. And press start. And after it's out, we're gonna make some ganache ice cream. The best part of baking a cake is getting to eat the bowl. Let's cook them.